Hello and welcome to episode 25 part 2 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode is a continuation of the items that you can find while you're mining, and it was probably very fortunate that we'd got to lead in the last episode, and there's two reasons why it was fortunate that it ended there. One was that I started to stray, but two is an important thing to mention to you all. Okay, all of the ores that I mentioned in the first part to this episode, when you smelt them, you will get 1 kilogram of a 1 kilogram ore lump from the 20 kilogram. So from iron, for example, you will get a 1 kilogram iron lump after smelting a 20 kilogram iron ore. And the same goes for the other ores that I mentioned: lead, copper, iron, all of them ores you get 1, and zinc, you get 1 kilogram when you smelt them. For all the ores now that I'm going to mention, you will notice there is a huge amount less, which basically equates to, when you mine these ores, you will still get a 20 kilogram tin ore, but when you smelt it and smelt the other ores that I mentioned, you will notice a big difference in the amount you get. Okay, but I'm going to mention as I mention each different ore type as we go along. So that was probably a good reason that this was a second part. So here we go. Let's continue on. But I wanted to mention that. Okay, so the next ore that you can find whilst mining is tin. The main use for tin is for making bronze when you combine it with copper. So there's another very good use for copper. Combining it with tin makes you bronze. Now, bronze you can make all sorts of items with. I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to risk making this too long episodes, too much information for you. I'm just going over items that you can mine and items that are useful to keep. So when you mine tin, you will only get, now with the other ores, remember you get 1 kilogram when smelted from a 20 kilogram lump. With tin you will get 0.5 kilograms of tin lump when smelted from 20 kilograms of tin ore. So you can see that is a massive amount less than a normal ore like iron. Okay, so there's tin. Next, I want to mention silver. While mining, silver is another possible ore vein that you can come across. The main uses for silver are statuettes to your chosen god and jewellery. Now, with silver, if you thought tin was harsh, get ready for this. With silver, you will only get 0.1 kilograms when smelted from a 20 kilogram silver ore. That, as you can see, is a huge drop. But so there you are. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because I remember a few years back when I first came across and started to use one of these ores that I'm talking about, I didn't understand why I had such a tiny amount of it when I'd mined a huge amount of the ore. But I only had a fraction, and I didn't understand. I thought, what's going on? So there we are. It's just to clarify that to you so you don't panic and wonder what's going on, why you're having to mine so much. That's why. I'm going to switch to Wurmpedia now and read the usage for silver. Okay, With silver, you can create a ball, a bracelet, candelabra, chain, hooks, hunting arrowheads, necklaces, rings, rivets, sacrificial knife blades, sheets, statuettes of the 4 different gods. That's Fo, Libelia, Magrenon and Venora. You can make a statue. You can make war arrowheads, wires. You can make an altar, armor chains, bowls, and the last thing in the Wurmpedia list says gold hanging lamp head. So I presume that's a component alongside gold for making that. So there we are. There's a list of the items that you can make with silver. Main usages, of course, are statuettes for your gods and jewellery. Okay, let's move on now to the next ore, which is gold. Whilst mining out there, you do have a chance of... Now, in Wurm Online, I believe it's a rare thing to find gold. I know one person, I believe, was it Alicats? Yes, I believe Alicats was very fortunate to find a gold vein. Now, you're thinking, well, why have gold, silver and then gold? Is there a point to this? This is Wurm, of course there is. Gold, okay, the main uses are the same as silver. But the main thing to understand about gold and appreciate is that you require not only a higher mining level to mine gold. You can mine it, sure enough. Alicats no doubt has had a good old mine on her gold vein, but you will be wasting it. If you find a gold vein, and there's a couple of others that are like this, that are difficult to mine, you need a high mining skill level. Otherwise you will keep mining low quality lumps, even though you have, say, a 30 skill in mining, you'll just keep mining 1 quality level or 2s or 5s. Do not waste your gold ore veins unless you have many of them. If you find only 1 gold vein, do not mine it. Wait until you've got your mining skill above 50 at least. At least. Do not touch your gold. Use the silver if you have silver. Gold is, you need a much higher mining skill, and for crafting with gold, when you start crafting, it will also be much more difficult to craft. So gold is an item that I say to you now, if you find it, you leave it alone until your skills get much higher. In which case, then visit Wurmpedia and look at some of the wonderful things you can make. Another good thing to mention about gold is if you're on a public server or Wurm Online, you can sell gold items to traders and vendors for much higher price than silver. Okay, so it has, just like in the real world, a much higher value than silver. Okay, I'm going to switch to Wurmpedia now and discuss gold. Okay, now this is the usage for gold. So, in actual fact, there's no point in reading through the usage because it is the same list as silver. Yeah, so I know I like repeating myself normally, but if I can spare you that, I will. So it's the same. The usage listed is the same as silver, except obviously all the items you make will be not only harder to make, but will be worth much more money. And there we are. There's gold. Now, I'm not sure if you can use gold and silver for dyes. It's not mentioned on Wurmpedia, so I'm not going to say that. But I don't know, it just seems like a little thing bugging me about that, but I'll leave it for now. Okay, let's now move to the last item you will encounter while mining, and it is the by far 95% the most common item you will find while mining. Of course, I'm talking about rock shards. And yes, I had to mention rock shards, else no doubt every single one of you would have said, why didn't you mention rock shards? Rock shards is another thing like iron. It has so many different uses for it, but one of the excellent uses is for creating whetstones, a tool for crafting and improving. When we get to improving items in blacksmithing, you'll see a whetstone is invaluable. It is also used to create another item which is excellent for training your milling skill, but I will get to that when I get to cooking. So I'm going to call it here. I know it's a very short episode, but it is only a continuation of episode 25. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, David, for suggesting this episode. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.